Shalom Yashrala, this your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Real quick, just in case you didn't catch yesterday's video, go back onto the page and check yesterday's video, and then there's a link down in the description to be able to subscribe to my secondary page, But nevertheless, just getting into this here lesson, I came across a couple of different articles, which this is like how do I say it? Here in America is like the city that's dwelling carelessly, why all these calamities and judgment is going out around the rest of the world. These Americans, it's all fine and dandy. They don't believe anything's going to ever touch them, because they've been living carelessly for so long, But ultimately, this is the time that the Most High spoke about, when the Lord was going to start to visit the earth. All right. So really, nobody is safe from this save the elect. All right. But nevertheless, these, and this is how these Americans are going to, ultimately getting caught by a thief in the night, when, how do I say, when things really start, how do I say, hitting the fan real hard, more or less to say. But nevertheless, in this point in time, you can see how all this is, pretty much being set for a domino effect collapse. All right. So I'm not going to read this article. Well, I'm going to read a little bit out of this article and touch on another article, and then we're going to get into the third article. All right. And they're all really short, but I'm going to just run through this really quick. This says, just a question of when CDC warns Americans coronavirus may cause severe disruption of everyday life. And see, hey, just like, Habakkuk say, Habakkuk chapter 2 say, at the end is going to speak and not lie. All right. Even though the division is yet for an appointed time. All right. It's not going to lie. All right. So a lot of the things, predominantly everything we've been saying, because we're the prophets, we're telling you beforehand, all right, before things come to pass, what's going to come to pass. And so now you're starting to see all these things come to pass, man. All right. And as we're telling you that this, they're going for a global economic shutdown, all right, to implement this RFID chip, which there's a lot of countries around the globe that already have that implemented. China is like one of them. They have that. You can look it up, the Chinese social credit system. They pretty much got it, like phase 1 rolling out already over there, But nevertheless, this here whole thing is setting it up for a domino effect, just to pretty much introduce that RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. All right. So it says, just a question of when CDC warns American coronavirus may cause severe disruption of everyday life. It says the spread of, I'm going to just call it the coronavirus. I call it the Wuhan virus, but the spread of the coronavirus in the U.S. is not a matter of whether, but when, and Americans need to prepare for their lives to be disrupted, senior official at the CDC warned. All right. So now this is the importance, and they're pretty much telling you how this is all going to roll out once this comes over here, because this is what's already going on over there in China. You go over there and look at Wuhan and China. They have a lot of drone footage out there that's looking like a ghost town, a ghost city, So just imagine all the hustle and bustle of like New York City. All right. Pretty much down to like a ghost town. You don't see nobody out there, it's no traffic, no nothing, and really, statistically over here in America, we dealing with the Edomites in this here statistics. All right. These Edomites nowadays, and I'm not going to speak about Jake, because Jake don't really have nothing. Whatever Jake got in their pocket is what all they got. So they don't even register on the scale. We talking about these Edomites, and they all bad off. If they bad off, where you think Jake is going to be at financially? But, Jake know how to survive. Jake been broke their whole life. So like in the last recession or whatnot. So, Jake didn't go through no damn recession. You got to have something to lose something before, what I'm saying? That was them Edomites. But nevertheless, here in the same time, statistically, these Edomites are living paycheck to paycheck. If they have a $400, some kind of emergency, whether it be a family emergency, a car breakdown or something like that, somebody dying in the family, they got to go out of town, rent a rental car, get a hotel or whatnot, take off of work. When they come back, their whole finances is fucked up. They pretty much about to be homeless, You can go look at documentaries on like Skid Row and the homelessness in America, death by despair. And when you're watching all these documentaries, you got to understand, they're not going to tell you this, but you have to understand they only really, how do I put it? They're only surveying Edomites, all right? Because when it comes to finances and things like this, like, all right, you living paycheck to paycheck. Like Jake, oh, y'all living paycheck to paycheck. We've been living paycheck to paycheck. A lot of times, shit, we living from paycheck 2 weeks to another paycheck, or always from Amscot to Amscot. So, when we talk about these type of statistics, it ain't dealing with Jake, because Jake ain't even got nothing. But these Edomites, All right, they live in paycheck to paycheck right now, and they can't afford a $400 emergency in their life. All right, so we're gonna see how this is gonna pretty much roll out. All right, let me get down to it. It says we're asking the American public to prepare for the expectation that this might be bad. She added, disruption to everyday life might be severe, and hey, that's what they're saying basically. Because again, when they surveying these Edomites, and Jake know that so-called these Edomites, pretty much these Edomites be having way more money than Jake. They be driving in the big Benzes, living in the big ass houses on the golf courses, so on and so forth. These motherfuckers got yachts and go on vacations. Most Jake don't even have jobs with benefits. Let alone, they jobs don't even offer them a vacation time, 401ks. Some Jakes do, working in factories and stuff like that. But predominantly, these are these Edomites that have these types of systems and things set up for them. But if they going through hard times, all right, whereas Jake is working at, the fast food restaurant, the Walmarts or whatever, whatnot, they already, scraping to get by. But these Edomites, all right, they're not going to make it, all right? It says, Americans need to be prepared for schools and workplaces closing, even elected medical procedures getting delayed as the U.S. healthcare system ramps up an effort to contain and control the spread of the virus in the coming weeks. So just imagine that. Let's go from the bottom to the top. Just imagine, you getting a medical procedure done, all right? Some kind of surgery that you need, some kind of corrective surgery. Maybe you had a heart attack or something like that. You got to get, a stent or something like that put in. But now all of a sudden, all the hospitals are overwhelmed because of the coronavirus is over here. Or you don't want to go out, or it's not healthy enough, because a lot of those surgeries and things like that, sometimes you have to, obviously in the hospital, you have to be in a real sterile condition and things like that, or certain things where your immune system, like if you getting cancer treatment and things like that, your immune system is really weak, man. All right, so you don't need to even be in a hospital where a situation like that, man. So now you can't go to the hospital, but you need this here surgery or whatnot, this here treatment plan to take place immediately. All right, but nevertheless, you can't go to the hospital, all right? Or hospitals being overwhelmed. Or again, like I explained in other videos, once it starts spreading a little bit, man, it's going to spread like a wildfire because, again, up to 5 days without you showing any signs or symptoms. Now new information is coming out, even if they so-called, what they call it, recover. But if they so-called cure you of it, that's probably why they call it recover. If they so-called cure you, how we would say it, if they so-called cure you, you still have traces of it inside of your body, and you still are able to, possibly still able to pass it on. So that's probably why they don't call it curing. They just say, they recovered you. But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? You can come home from work. Let's say you traveled on an airplane. So everybody on the airplane has pretty much got it because they've all been breathing the same air. All right. So now the pilots, because he was already at work, he's going to take it home to his family and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? The people in the airport, they're going to be spreading it to everybody else, the cab drivers, so on and so forth. They're going to get home, spread it to their kids. Kids are going to go to school, spread it to their classmates and the teachers. Those kids are going to go home, spread it to their families. The teachers are going to go home and spread it to their kids, to another school. Now the parents are going to go home, or they're going to catch it from their kids, but then they're going to go back to work and infect everybody at work. And then if they have a job dealing with, like, let's say customer service, not like in a factory, but let's say they have a job, like, let's say working at Walmart or something, everybody they're in contact with, they're going to pretty much start infecting, or they're going to pretty much infect, and it's pretty much like they passing it on to them, and they're going to keep spreading it and spreading it and spreading it, It's pretty much like, you have a big puddle of red paint that got spilled at the front door of somebody's house, and then you got like a line of people, that have to go through this here doorway, you know what I'm saying? Or, or shit, put it this way. There's a puddle of red paint that was spilled on the step of a public transit bus, right? One of those city buses, right? Everybody's getting on that bus is going to get red paint on the bottom of their shoes. Even once they get off the bus and they still walking around, they're going to be tracking that red paint everywhere. They're going to take it into work. They're taking the bus to work. They're going to take the red paint into work. Now, the floor is going to be covered in this here red paint. They go home, so on and so forth, to the store, so on and so forth, and I use that analogy so it can be more or less like a visualization of how easy this here disease can spread, So you have to, how do I say, prepare for these things. So you don't want to be trying to get a medical procedure done at this point in time if things start breaking out pretty bad, all right? Or it says Americans need to prepare for schools, all right? Now, imagine that, one of the things with, the problems with Jake and why Jake be raising up these monsters, obviously we're under these curses, but when you look at it in a so-called cardinal sense, they obviously kicked the man out of the household. They told these women, gave these women this stupid-ass independent dream. Like, that's the biggest fallacy in the world. Ain't nothing on planet Earth independent. There's nothing in existence that you can think of that's independent. But nevertheless, even Yahushua is taking orders from the father. You see what I'm saying? So come on, man. You better than him now? But nevertheless, you know, you see this with these, you know, a lot of Jake, you know, they're being raised by their mothers in single parent households, you know, and I don't know if the conditions are still the same because, you know, these women doing some crazy stuff nowadays for some money. But I know when I was growing up, you know, I very rarely got to see my parents because of the fact that actually both of my parents was together for quite a while, you know, but I very rarely got to see my parents because they were both working 2 and 3 jobs pretty much all day long. So I always was at my aunt's house or my grandma's house or somebody, you know, babysitter's house or something like that. All right. So, but just imagine that being in a single parent household where the mother's going out and actually, you know, working 3 legitimate jobs. You know, she got 3 part-time jobs, or, you know, she's got a full-time job and 2 part-time jobs, and she's doing all that she can do to so-called legally make money the so-called right way or whatever, whatnot, you know. And now, I mean, she already don't have time to be dealing with the kids. So what? You know, sending them to school is somewhat of a help because at least they're going to be so-called supervised for at least 8 hours out the day. Now, just imagine now, you know, now let's just say she got some young kids, the ones that go to daycare and elementary school and things like that. Schools are closed. Now she got to be home with the kid. All right. Now she can't even go to work because she got to stay at home with the kids. So now she's losing money. All right. Or let's just say the kid's a little bit older. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes these kids go out and get in a whole lot of mischief or whatever, whatnot. You know, it's causing more of a burden on you. All right. Or just imagine how it says Americans need to prepare for schools and workplaces closing. Just imagine, like I said earlier, the majority of Americans or the majority of these Edomites, a lot of these Edomites, like you, are living paycheck to paycheck. You know, they can't afford a $400 emergency or whatever, whatnot. So, hey man, let them, you know, really $400 to them, you know what I'm saying? Like they actually, you know, because their hourly or their salary, you know what I'm saying, is pretty high up there, you know. But just imagine them taking a week off of work or whatever, whatnot, you know, or an extended period off of work, you know. I remember when the government shutdown happened or whatever, whatnot. I know somebody that actually worked for the government, like the Social Security office. All right. And, you know, when they was being furloughed, they weren't getting paid. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they get benefits. They get, you know, they make pretty decent money. But shit, you can't get paid for like 3 or 4 weeks. Now you like, damn, man, I might need to, you know what I'm saying? I got to start going into the savings, or I got to start, you know, borrowing some money from so-and-so. Or I might got to go over to a relative house to actually start eating dinner over there because we can't afford no food, you know? So, hey, man, even if you do have these benefits, man, and things like that, man, hey, how long can you last like that, you know? Just like a lot of these Edomites complain about this healthcare system now. If you understand when you actually get older, all right, a lot of these Edomites are upset because, you know, they done worked and put money in their 401k or whatever, whatnot, and built up, you know, they might have $1 million to $2 million in their 401k by the time they retire, but now they've occurred medical conditions. You know, they had a heart attack or a stroke or something like that. So now they always constantly have to go to a doctor, see a doctor or whatever, whatnot. Oh, shit, if you just have a heart attack or whatever, whatnot, that's going to cost you damn near a quarter to a $500,000 right there alone, you know? And let's just say you have $1 million in savings in 401k, man, that's half of your money right then and there. Then you got to constantly go back for treatments and so on and so forth, you know? So they're already at older ages, you know what I'm saying, living paycheck to paycheck. A lot of these elderly people, you know, these elderly Edomites. Matter of fact, I know one of my so-called customers or whatever, whatnot, you know, one of my accounts is an elderly white lady or Edomite lady, whatever, whatnot, you know. She lived in a really nice neighborhood. She lived on a golf course with a lake, with a pool, on a golf course, lake, and a pool, you know what I'm saying? You know, but she, you know, she's over here cutting corners and making sure that she don't this and that because she's on a fixed income. All right. So again, she can't even, again, probably at $400 would really put her, you know, really just bankrupt her ass, but let alone another $100 or whatever out of her pocket. She can't afford that, man. That's just like Jake, man. Jake, you know, is making a paycheck to paycheck and got to get a little Scott borrow $50 to the end of the week. Just imagine something happening in the middle of the week, you know what I'm saying, where Jake had to shell out an unexpected $200, man. You see what I'm saying? He's already borrowing that extra $50 to make it through. So now he got to come up with an extra $200 plus on top of the $50, man. You see what I'm saying? But nevertheless, imagine being out of work for a couple weeks, man. It's not going to work out for you very long, all right? So this was pretty much all I wanted to grab from this here article. But let me read this here thing. Where is it? It was another article. Oh, right here. It says, U.S. economy, a gigantic bubble, and coronavirus could be the pin, Peter Schiff tells Boom Bust. This was the second article I wanted to kind of cover over a little bit, but really all you needed to know was the title of this here article, because the next article I'm going to go into is actually going to deal with that. Where is it? Right here. All right. And it was funny was one of the brothers actually put this in the group chat earlier today, dealing with, you know, a picture of the stock market. But nevertheless, it says the Dow crashes down more than 800 points or 1,800 this week amid coronavirus panic. Now, if you actually know what's going on with the stock market is pretty much been depleted. You know, these Edomites are literally taking all of the smart Edomites, the elite ones, they're taking all their money out. And then when you go in and you understand what's going on with the economy and the feds keep pumping money into the system, this is where they're pumping the money into the system at over here. All right. This is why you're seeing trends of the stock market skyrocketing. This is why if you ask any of these stupid low level ass Edomites, or anybody, oh yeah, you might want to start investing. Invest. 401k, we're making a lot of money right now. Yeah, because they're propping it up by putting all this here money into the economy. You see what I'm saying? It's not really the businesses. How is it that you see businesses closing down left and right, a lot of unemployed people, but yet the stock market is just raising up. The stock market is a reflection of how these businesses are doing. These businesses are failing, the stock market will be crashing because they lose the stock. But however, this is a different scenario to where now you having the feds have to constantly keep pumping money into the system, all right? Which to these smart dumb niggas is making them think that the system is actually skyrocketing. But no, that's actually not the case. All right. So even though that you have this here drop right now, it's actually way worse than that, because a lot of the money that you're seeing in there it's just inflated. That's the government putting money in. It's not real investors investing into these companies. These companies really ain't doing that good. All right. But nevertheless, this is why they have these little apps like Stash and Acorns or whatever, whatnot. They trying to get Jake to go in there and try to prop up the system or whatever, whatnot. So when they pull the plug, they're not really losing out on no money, man. All right, they started doing this a while back. I believe it was the Rothschilds or either the Rockefellers sold all their stock in oil. They got out of the oil business. This was a while back. This was before they started releasing these Tesla cars and things like that, man. They already ahead of the plan, man. All right, but nevertheless, going back to those other two articles we was just looking at about, how these Americans is living so carelessly, all right, amongst this here coronavirus, and how these things could affect their everyday life. All right, everything could just come to a screeching halt. And then that other article said that, hey, look, man, there's an economic bubble. So they already know, like, come on, bro, you got a fake ass bubble. You keep inflating and inflating and inflating. That's not how the system really is looking, man. Y'all keep propping this up, propping it up. The equivalent of this is, put it in Jake terms, you didn't got a car, it looked like a decent car on the outside or whatever, whatnot, but the car really don't run. The engine and the transmission is gone, right? But you're going to try to supplement that so people won't understand what's going on with that. So you're going to try to so-called raise the value of the car, or maybe the car been in the flow. You're going to try to raise the value of the car by putting a candy paint job on there, throwing a system in there, putting some expensive ass rims on there or whatever, whatnot, putting some, some high tech stuff in there, whatever, whatnot. So when another Jake come across, like, oh shit, they didn't upgrade. Oh shit, they did this and that, and this car all souped up or whatever, whatnot. Like, nah, bruh. They dressed it up like that so you would go there and buy that damn lemon like that. They got to, how do I say, they got to account for their shortfalls, So this is the same thing going on in this here system. The economy is actually doing horrible right. It would have been collapsed. In fact, 2008, the economy actually collapsed. It was, since then, you seen what they was doing. They was pumping money in. They've been pumping money in ever since then, man. They had the bailouts. That's what they was doing. They was putting money, like printing more fake money. All right, you didn't even have money to pay off your debt to begin with, and they just keep printing more money. You know what I'm saying? Like, but anyway, or another analogy, 2008, you defaulted on your credit cards. You lost your job in 2008, and you had a big ass credit card debt, and you couldn't pay that shit off. But now all of a sudden, all these new creditors are now offering you new credit cards. So what you've been doing since 2008 is you just been charging up to these new credit cards. All right, but you've never been able to pay off the first ones that you went into full debt with. So, and you're still incurring this here debt. So eventually, once you get to your spending limit, that's going to be it. You've incurred all this here debt on these 400 or 500 different credit cards. You still got to pay it off. You just made it way worse. When you begin with it, back in 2008, when you first lost your job, you only had one credit card and $100 worth of debt. You had maxed out at $100, but you received another credit card to pay off that $100 debt. And, now you've incurred $200 in debt, and so on and so forth. Now that you got, let's just say $500,000 in the debt, and you can't pay that off because you couldn't pay the first $100 off, man. All right. So it says fear of the coronavirus spreading globally is driving down the U.S. stock market, also in China as well, too, with the Dow Jones really around the whole globe globally, because when you're dealing with America and China and trade, all right, first of all, China is like the biggest supplier to the world on all kind of goods, all right? Now, America is China's number one buyer, but really, these other countries as well, too. How, like, they say China or America get, like, the majority of their products from China. Well, a lot of these other countries do as well, too. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, with a lot of these businesses and things like that over in China being shut down, expect to see a slowdown come over here real soon, man. All right, with a lot of this trade and so on and so forth, man. All right. But nevertheless, it says fear the coronavirus spreading globally is driving down U.S. stock markets, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average sliding by almost 900 points before recovering slightly to close at 27,081.36. The Nasdaq Composite dropped by 255 points, 2.77% by Tuesday closing. By Tuesday's closing, while the S&P 500 was down 97 points, 3%. All right, so pretty much in all these sectors, and just not to go too far in the stocks or whatever, whatnot. Basically, these are just highlights of how of how certain businesses are doing. So like Dow Jones Industrial Average, that would be like in manufacturing and things like that. All right. The Nasdaq, I believe, is just like companies like I believe that's like companies like Sony, things like that, just regular companies or whatever, whatnot, Todd, whatever, whatnot. Now the S&P 500 is what is it? The Standard and something 500, which is like 500 of the top companies in this certain sector or whatever, whatnot. So basically what you're looking at is a snapshot of how businesses are doing around the U.S. right now. All right. And they're all pretty much losing because why? A lot of these people are well, we're going to it, but a lot of these people are pretty much afraid of these fears of the coronavirus shutting down a lot of manufacturing and trade and people going out and actually spending money. All right. So why would I want to invest and keep investing in let's say Walmart or Apple when, we looking down the road, we expected this thing to keep going globally and a lot more people to get sick. And as we read in the other article, prepare for your schools and your jobs closing. So if your jobs are closing and you already, paycheck to paycheck living on $400, you ain't really got no time to, and you've been out of work. You're not gonna really go buy no new iPod or no new iPhone. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't got the money. You've been off of work and you sick, man. So you're not gonna go buy a new iPhone, and you probably gonna keep your shopping to Walmart very minimally. You might send somebody there for some groceries or some bare necessities or whatever, whatnot. But you're not just gonna go to Walmart to go and get some new candles or whatever for the house, or go grab a whatever from Walmart. Just some whatever you want to go pick up. Some shit you don't really need, some crayons for the kids. You're not gonna go to Walmart for that in the midst of you being sick or the panic of everything going else around you. So what? These companies are looking at, if I'm an investor, why would I want to invest in Apple right now when I'm expecting that they're going to have a downturn in sales coming up real soon, Same with Walmart. If less people are going to be going to Walmart, McDonald's, and so on and so forth, I don't really want to invest right now into them. I'm going to actually wait. These smart investors, they start investing when companies start crashing, all right? Because they buy low and sell high, all right? They wait for the stock market to start crashing or certain stocks to go down and plummet, you know what I'm saying, to lose so many points, then they start buying then when it's low. Then as it gradually starts going up, then that's when they start selling, But nevertheless, it says the coronavirus epidemic in China has already disrupted global supply chains, but as the virus spreads to the Middle East and Europe, the economic fallout is growing, driving investors to sell, like I just explained. Dow never goes up 1,800 points in 2 days, but it will take 2 to 3 months to get it back. Funny how that works. Really, they could just keep pumping the money in there, but people would be, they realize what the hell's going on. It says it takes a brave soul to be buying these markets. Charles Weston, head of research at Australian forex broker Pepperstone, told MarketWatch, "How do we model risk when we can't even model the economics with any confidence?" Like I was just explaining, why the fuck would I want to go buy why do I want to invest in the Apple when I can, as an investor, I'm already looking at how the market's going to be going. Now, maybe I want to invest in the Apple when kids are about to get out of school for the summer. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have some new kids getting their first job, summer jobs, and they're going to be having a little bit more money. Maybe I want to invest in the Apple around Christmas when new people are going to be getting new iPods and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I want to invest around these types of times. But right now when I'm expecting, an economic downturn because there's a possibility of a lot of people about to get sick, a lot of people are about to be out of work, and so on and so forth. Trade is about to actually start slowing up. Why would I want to invest in these companies? All right, so as you're starting to see with this economic, once a lot of these companies get to pay a lot of their bills because they have investors, man. All right, just imagine you trying to start your little small business, let's say a lawn business, right? But you don't have the money to invest into a truck or fuck that, because what is that term? It's a term like basically roughly paraphrasing like 30 days in the hole, 60 days in the hole, 90 days in the hole or something like that, which means for businesses, let's say, again, you have a lawn business, right? You're going to go and cut the grass 4 times a week, right, at this particular house or all your houses, but let's just say this one particular house. So you go on week 1, you're using gas. You got to gas up the lawnmowers, the truck, pay insurance, pay your employees or whatever, whatnot. They get paid every week, right? But nevertheless, you go in this house the first week, the second week, the third week, the fourth week. Now, they're going to only pay their bill once a month because they're getting paid monthly, or their bill is due monthly, all right? But yet you going out to service their house 4 times out the week, all right? So now businesses, sometimes they have to go get loans, all right, just to be able to pay their employees and pay their bills, because why? These bills are going to be occurring every day. I got to put gas in my truck every single day. Got to put gas in my lawnmower every single day. This is a bill occurrence that's coming up, but I'll have the money at the end of the month, or like I said, I forgot what the name of the term is, but it'll be like 30 days in the hole, 60 days in the hole. 30 days in the hole is good. You know, if again you running a lawn business and at the end of the month you're gonna get all that, you know, your whole paycheck at the end of the month for all your services. But then there's some situations like dealing with clothes, when you're selling clothes and things like that, or certain online businesses and things like that, you don't actually get paid until, or certain commission jobs and things like that, and sales jobs, you don't actually get paid. That sale don't actually go through till, let's just say 60 days or 2 months, 90 days, 3 months. You know, that's when that so-called kickback come in and you actually get credit for that, and that's when you're going to actually get paid. So some businesses actually take out loans just for that. So just imagine how that domino effect will work out. You know, you got this lawn business. All right, here it is week 2, and now economics is going bad, and you can't even really go get this here loan or whatever, whatnot, to pay your employees. So now your employees got to quit the damn job or go find another job because you can't pay them. All right, now your customers are kind of upset because you can't even handle the workload because all your employees didn't jump ship. You see, it's just a how do I say? It's just a lose-lose situation. All right. It says, while only 14 cases of coronavirus have been officially registered in the U.S., the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention warned Tuesday that its spread is only a matter of time and that Americans should prepare for severe disruption of daily life in the coming weeks. All right, so they letting you know, but what? This is a place they dwelling carelessly out here, man. All right, they don't how do I say? They don't take into account, you know, the Lord is actually bringing down judgment. All right. So we're going to jump into the scriptures. I'm going to read a couple of scriptures, but nevertheless, you know, these are the times that we're living in. All right, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51. I'm going to start at verse 5. All right, because ultimately you have to understand why this here judgment is going out. All right, because first and foremost, you know, not only did Esau, let me get a precept real quick, because the precept will say it better than I can. This is Jeremiah 30:16. It says, therefore all that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. All right, so really, you know, let me get another precept. This is Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7. All right, it says, and Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. All right, so you have to understand that we live in a time now where, you know, not only Esau, but these other nations have touched the apple of the Most High's eyes. All right, now the Lord is bringing down that judgment. All right, the Lord is requiring that these heathens did beforehand. All right, so now the Lord is raining out judgment on the planet Earth. All right, so ultimately this is the Lord that's causing all these different things. All right, so and when you look at the bigger scheme of things, now first and foremost, 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you know, the Most High don't really care about your ass right now, man. Well, he care about you enough to destroy your ass. You know what I'm saying? But 2/3 of our people are going to get cut off and die. We're not really talking about them, right? Now, the curses, more or less, is going to still pretty much be under them until they wind up dying and they come back into the kingdom, all right? Then they're going to be born and they're going to all be righteous. However, now, even the elect, we still under the curses as well, too. But the Lord is slightly bringing curses up off of us and putting them on Esau, Edom, you know? So, you know, nowadays, you know, Jake is catching, you know, some W's here and there. Ultimately, you know, we're going to be getting that ultimate victory when we get into the kingdom of heaven. But nevertheless, as we see these curses slightly being put on Esau and on these other nations, why are all these things happening? Because why? They touched the apple of the Most High's eyes, all right? So this is Jeremiah 51 and verse 5. For Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power, of Yahweh of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. So the Most High ain't forgot about us, man. Well, saying this, not put it this way, he not saying that to you is like, no, I ain't forget about you, homie, or whatever, whatnot. But all right, put it this way, your kid was out here doing something, right? You got a little kid or whatever, whatnot, but then this other kid's parent came up and just walked up and slapped your kid in the face, right? Now, you was busy this day or whatever, whatnot, so you ain't have time to go and confront them like you really wanted to go confront them. But you was like, I'm gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? So now you see this person again, maybe in a grocery store or whatever, whatnot. You say the same, oh, I ain't forgot about what you did to my kid. I ain't forgot how you slapped my kid or whatever, whatnot, you know? So this is the equivalent to what the Most High is saying here. You know, it says, for Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power. All right, so talking to these other nations, like, yo, man, hold up. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, even though I had turned my back on them for a period of time, you know what I'm saying, put them on punishment or whatever, whatnot, I ain't forgot about them over there. I'm gonna come back and get my kid, and you're gonna get you're gonna get judged for doing what you did to him. All right. Verse 6, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. So Babylon the Great, all right, America, these Edomites, and these other nations as a whole, all right, they about to get judged for what they did to the children of Israel, to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. The Most High ain't forgot about all the atrocities and the things that was done unto his people, man. All right, and so now he's about to render that recompense. All right, verse 7. Babylon had been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken, and the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Now, you have to understand that, you know, ultimately America, and really these other nations as well too, but America really got super rich, richer than these other nations by, well, one of the ways, you know, in the very beginning was through slavery, all right? They had this huge head start of slavery and not paying for their labor and stuff like that. And they were sending a lot of the cotton over to Europe and whatever, whatnot, you know? Then ultimately they came through with the International Monetary Fund and the Federal Reserve, and they really just started printing their own money, you know, and then really started going to go hoard all this gold from these other nations or whatever, whatnot. But their first big spike in economics and wealth was built off of the back of the slaves. You know, this is how they wound up getting everything built up over here, all right? But now, you know, everything, well, let me keep reading. Verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. And that was what Donald Trump ran on. That was his slogan when he was running for president. Let's make America great again, or make America great again. All right, so this is the same thing that we're reading here in, Salak. Let me read verse 8 again. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. That wasn't a Donald Trump situation. Verse 9 is the Donald Trump slogan. For we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. You know, let's make America great again. Like the Most High had a reply to that already. Like, oh, yeah, we would have healed Babylon, but she's not healed. We're not going to heal Babylon. All right. Because this is the place where my people have been, the most atrocious things have been done unto us here. All right. It says we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Let everyone go into his own country. For her judgments reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even into the skies. All right. So, you know, all the wickedness that this here place, Babylon, America, has done on the face of the earth has reached its limits, man. All right, so now this is the time where the Lord is about to bring down this here judgment. All right, but nevertheless, these other nations still have their judgment that has to be meted out, you know, because all these nations had a hand in, real quick, Psalms 83. This is Psalms 83 and 2. It says, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel and against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, which is the so-called white man, the Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabs, of Moab, the so-called Chinese, and the Hagarenes and Gabal. I believe both of those are Africans. Ammon, which are the Chinese, or the Japanese people. Amalek, which are the so-called Jewish people, the Philistines, and the inhabitants of Tyre, which are Hamites, basically Africans. All right. Now the Philistines ain't the same as the who you call the Palestinians. The Palestinians are basically Syrians. All right. You got to go back into their history, where you know you'll find out about that. You know, talking about the Jewish people and the Muslims been fighting for thousands of years or whatever, whatnot. Like, it ain't been possible, man. First of all, so-called Jewish people was only ever been around like 6 million of them. They was always living over in like Poland, Germany, and Russia. That at that point in time, that was where they was living at. All right, they had never stepped foot into the land of Israel, or what they was calling the land of Palestine. All right, or Palestine. You know, now the people that was living in Palestine, all right, which were They were Syrians, because when you go back into history, they basically had ran that whole area, and some of the Syrians lived down in there. Now the population that was over there for like the longest amount of time was only like 500,000 people. It was less than 1 million people over there. All right, so how the hell you have? They wasn't warring back and forth for no thousands of years. You just go and do the research, but they keep pushing that rhetoric. But nevertheless, those people that we call Palestinians today, those are actually Syrians. Those are, these are basically Ishmaelites. Now the Philistines, when you go back into the scriptures, these were actually Hamites. All right. But nevertheless, dealing with these other nations, hey man, this is why the Lord is taking this here virus and spreading it throughout the whole earth, man, because every last one of them had a part in our downfall. All right. So we're gonna go from there to Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 3. All right, because look, America, they still dwell in carelessly. They don't really care over here, right? But what? This place is about to collapse, man. Economically, it's already damn near broken down economically, where there's very little jobs. There's a huge demand for we call it the gig type economy, more or less to say. Everybody driving Uber or whatever, whatnot, man. Amazon delivery drivers and so on and so forth, man. Hey, just imagine if that break out here, man. How many people, because a lot of people don't drive. They actually Uber and public transportation. Just imagine that, you trying to get in a damn cab and you don't know who got this and who got that. Or imagine these people out there driving Uber, A lot of these Americans is too proud to do any kind of damn dirty job or any kind of job. I ain't doing that. Just imagine when the coronavirus come over here, like how they getting away from these Moabites and not going to Chinese. Some of them, they're like, nah, we ain't going to a Chinese restaurant because they might got that. So imagine when they out there doing Uber or whatever, whatnot. No, we ain't doing that with the coronavirus running rampant over here. All right. Verse 3, it says, verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves. Who's the keepers of the house? Basically, and the strong men. It's basically talking about these elites, the higher ups, the movers and the shakers. All right. So in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and why are they trembling? Looking at the stock market and seeing this downturn and economics is going down. And this is the time that we're reading about. This is the time when they starting to tremble. Just because Ray from down the block and your auntie them, they ain't panicking and tell you to panic. Because Jake don't watch the news. They don't know what the fuck is going on until it's something huge, big, man. All right, they hear from word of mouth, but other than that, they don't really be knowing about nothing like that, man. Shit, Jake probably don't even know about the coronavirus. If it wasn't no damn meme on the internet, they probably wouldn't know about it at all, man. All right. It says, in the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out the window are darkened. Yeah, the grinders are talking about work. Manufacturing jobs has all been shipped overseas and everything like that. That's why we're living in a gig-like economy right now, man. There already isn't no jobs. People are already living paycheck to paycheck. Now let this coronavirus come over here. Well, it's already over here, but nevertheless, let it start spreading over here. All right. And they start shutting things down like they predicting it's going to happen, man. All right. People really going to be hurting. All right. Verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. Meaning businesses are going to be shutting down, which businesses are already shutting down, man. See, Kmart's, Toys R Us's, all these big name companies that's been around for so long is actually shutting down. A lot of these companies are consolidating. Especially after 2008 collapse, a lot of businesses consolidated. Look at General Motors, man. They had so many other car companies like Saturn, Pontiac, Hummer. They had Saab. They had a couple of different car companies like that. That basically they're not around no more. What they did, they just came back out with the Hummer. Now it's under the GMC brand, but nevertheless, they pretty much was downsizing because why? Basically, people weren't buying cars. The economy it crashed. That was the end all be all. And then they started propping it up with the fake money that they just been injecting into the system to make it look like it's getting better, but it ain't never really got no better. It's actually been getting worse and worse and worse. Like I said, these elites are literally pulling their money out of the stock market, but they're propping it back up to make you people have faith into it, so you'll pour all your money into it. All right, now let this thing crash. You lost all your, all your investments and everything like that, But nevertheless, it says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all, you got these people waking up early looking for jobs or whatever, when I still can't find them, and the daughters of music shall be brought low, and that's pretty much what you got now. It's pretty much like a sad, slow, not to say an R&B song, but a sad song about, I really miss my homies, because you mourning the loss of your friend, right? Same thing here, you mourning the loss of work, the good times, man. I remember when we was balling or whatever, whatnot. Oh man, now we gotta be sitting over here eating raviolis and ramen noodles, man. Man, back when I had that job at such and such, man, we was balling back then, man. And I remember I used to make all kind of money over there, but now We live in paycheck to paycheck, man. And you see a lot of these people like that, man. You look at the death by despair or despair in America, or look at what these Edomites are complaining about on YouTube. There's a lot of these videos up there talking about how, they went from being making a 6-figure income salary and living it up, living all good, and never really investing it in no kind of safety net or nothing like that, starting small businesses or investing here and there because they was just spending their 6-figure income because they was making that all the time. They was making 7 and 8 7 and 8-figure incomes and getting a 6-figure income as a bonus. They was getting that 2 and 3 times throughout the year, but they was just going out and splurging with that. Now all of a sudden they had to have some layoffs at Lehman Brothers and Goldman Sachs or whatever went after the '08 recession. All right, then all of a sudden these people who had only done that for so long, there's already no jobs. Where they gonna go work at, man? Where they gonna start getting income at? So now they're gonna stop living in this penthouse over there in this high rise in New York. It's now being homeless, man. This is why the homelessness is on is skyrocketing right now, man. People don't become homeless because they just decide to be homeless. Some people do, but majority of people don't become homeless like that. The majority of these people become homeless out of some kind of misfortune in their life. Something happened and now they didn't fell into a pit. They can't get themselves out of this pit, man. All right, and this is why you starting to see, man, I see it all the time, man. Matter of fact, right next to where I work, there's a Papa John's or something like that, man. There's a delivery dude that work over there drive a Hellcat. All right, now there ain't nothing to be studying about. Yeah, boy, I got a pizza boy got a Hellcat. No, best believe that's his second or third job, man. All right, just to make sure his bills are being met, man. All right, you got doctors out here that used to drive Mercedes or whatever, whatnot, or shit, you still got some doctors that's driving Mercedes that's living in their damn car and driving Uber. I seen that. Matter of fact, I actually seen that where a doctor or whatever, whatnot, driving Mercedes, doing Uber in the damn Mercedes. Matter of fact, I think it was like Uber Eats they was doing. But nevertheless, I'm like, why the fuck you doing Uber Eats and you got a Benz, cuz? What's going on here? But things is slowing down for them, But nevertheless, I don't know if it was a doctor or a lawyer, but nevertheless, you got lawyers and doctors living in their cars out in the parking lot, man. All right, going out to the gym. This is why a lot of these gym memberships are increasing. A lot of these people are actually homeless, living in their cars. Go on YouTube and look up girl living in her car. Go look that shit up. That will blow your mind to see how many of these women. All right, not just talking about women or whatever, whatnot, but you would think that if there was a decent looking woman out there, you know what I'm saying? If she was like decent looking, you know what I'm saying, and she ain't got like no like issues as far as like, oh, she got heavy demons on her. But if she ain't crazy or nothing like that, but she decent looking, you know what I'm saying? Like shit, if I seen her in the world, I might holler at her in the world or whatever, whatnot, But why the fuck is she homeless? She out there living in her car, bathing at the damn gym. You think this the hottie at the gym, but she just coming to the gym, get a little workout on just to have the appearance of a little sweat so she go in there and get that damn shower right quick so she have her shower for the day, man. Go on YouTube and look up girl living in her car, man. You'll see all these different women talking about how they had a daily routine of taking their baths or, taking a shower at the gym, how they eat and live in their car, whatever, whatnot. You looking at them like, damn, why you looked at, you can't go out and go so-called seduce a man, not even saying seduce a man. You can't go out there and literally find you a dude that you somewhat kind of like, can befriend, start talking to him, and then let him know, like, hey, man, try to do something to get your situation a little bit better. Not even saying you got to be a gold digger, just go try to find a sugar daddy. But like, you can literally go out there and literally genuinely find you a boyfriend, and then y'all could go link up together, you know what I'm saying? But you going to go live off of your car because that's where you at right now, man. Go look at some research on how these people are really living out here in America, man. You can't judge by off of Jake. Jake could be broke as fuck with no money, in debt, borrow money, but still look clean as fuck, man. You know what I'm saying? Jake could go borrow like $50, but then he'll go to the store, go get him a fresh white tee. You know what I'm saying? Make sure his shoes is clean. You think that he looking like new money, but he just borrowed this here money. You know what I'm saying? But Jake gonna look like he fresh at all points in time, man. Esau, you know what I'm saying? Esau always be looking like a damn bum, man. You see these richest Edomites, they be walking around with their damn khakis or they dockers or whatever, whatnot, and they little polo shirt, you know what I'm saying, and some old busted ass shoes. They always look like that because they ain't really looking for no materialistic things to wear, man. So you can't be judging off of the people that you walking around seeing, man. I'm telling you, man, the majority of these people living paycheck to paycheck, and these Edomites are they on hard times right now, man. Like I said, damn near all of my clients, they all well-off Edomites living in very rich, wealthy neighborhoods, man. And a lot of their houses are going up for sale, and a lot of them are like, yeah, we just can't afford it no more, or whatever, whatnot. They losing their jobs or whatever, whatnot, man. A lot of these things are happening. So how much more already in a volatile economy, how much more when this coronavirus starts spreading like a wildfire over here, man? All right? Matter of fact, you know what? So I'm gonna grab a couple more precepts, but you know the point is already made there. You know what? Well, I'll briefly quote two other scriptures real quick. This is Matthew 24 and verse 7 and 8. All right, it says, you know, dealing with, you know, signs of the times of the end when Yahushua is going to make his return. All right, verse 7 and 8 says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. All right, which we've been seeing that, you know, with these wars and rumors of wars. It says, and there shall be famines, right? You know, a lack of food, you know, and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All right, so let's go into this here word. You know, we all know what these pestilence are, but, you know, and pestilence can come in multiple different ways, you know. It says pestilence, a pestilent fellow, a pest, or a plague, you know, basically going into a plague, or it says of uncertain affinity, a plague, literally the disease, or figuratively a pest, a pestilence. So, hey man, the Lord had already told us about this. It says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and let's just say diseases and earthquakes in diverse places. So these are the signs of let me read verse 8. And all of these are the signs, all these are the beginning of sorrows. All right, so look, the Lord is showing you these are the signs of when Yahushua is about to make his return. The Lord is raining out this here judgment on planet Earth, man. All right, and you can read in Micah chapter 2, verse 10, dealing with this is not your rest. It's polluted and it's going to destroy you. So for our people that's trying to live up in this here society, keep going forward, and this whole thing is coming to a close, man. It's coming to a grinding halt, man. All right, and then also you shouldn't be how do I say, you shouldn't be looking at this here place is trying to thrive and America keep going on trying to make America. You shouldn't mean that make America great against spirit real quick. Let me grab this real quick. Because like I said, the Lord is taking the curses off of Jake and he's putting them on Esau. All right, let me read this is Zechariah. I'm gonna start at verse 9 and I'm gonna read 13. Zechariah 8 and 9, it says, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, let your hands be strong, ye that hear in these days the words of the mouth of the prophets, which were in the days of the foundation of the house of Yahweh of hosts was laid, that the temple might be built. All right, so basically, hearkening to the men of the Lord right now, man. You know, you shouldn't be out here watching these, you can watch them, you know, understand what's going on, but you shouldn't be watching these alternative media channels like, in fact, AMTV, which is alternative, alternative media television, you know, with Christopher Green. I'll use him as an example because he's like one of the ones that's fleecing the flock as well too, you know, but he's telling you the truth about a lot of things, you know, but he also slide in there that promotion to buy some stuff from him or whatever, whatnot. But you don't want to be watching him and getting in the same spirit that he in. Oh shit, let me panic. Let me buy some gold. Let me buy some silver. Let me buy, which again, it ain't nothing wrong with that. But ultimately, what the hell you need that for? You know what I'm saying? Like the most, we finna get it all anyway, and you ain't gonna have to buy it. You know, they're gonna be bringing it to you. But nevertheless, stocking up food and things like that, man. You shouldn't be, oh man, let me do this, let me do that, let me do all these different things, man. Because ultimately, this is the curse that's falling upon. Well, 2/3 of our people gonna get it too, but you know the curse ain't gonna never lift up off of them. But majority, all of this judgment is predominantly going out on well 2/3 of our people, but predominantly these other nations in Esau, Edom. All right, the elect again, they're being cleaned up right now. All right. So, verse 10. For before these days there was no hire for man, nor any hire for beast, neither was there any place for him that went out or came in because of the affliction. For I set men everyone against his neighbor. Look at the conditions we in right now, man. Self-explanatory. All right. But now will I not be unto the residue of this people, as in the former days, saith Yahweh of hosts. Again, the curse is going to start coming up off of the residue of this people. So talking about the elect. All right. Verse 12. Now, again, we looking at the decay of Babylon the Great, the decay of 2/3 of our people. Everything is going bad for them right now. But the elect, you know, they actually coming up on the ups right now, you know. Verse 12, this is why you shouldn't be panicking and all, you know, scared or whatever, whatnot, you know. Verse 12, for the seed shall be prosperous, all right, talking about dealing with the elect. First and foremost, the vine shall give her fruit, and the ground shall give her increase, and the heavens shall give their due, and I will cause the remnant of this people to possess all these things. Where is that at? Let me read verse 13. I think I know where it's at. And it shall come to pass that as you were cursed among the heathen, O house of Judah and house of Israel, so will I save you, and you shall be a blessing. Fear not, and let your hands be strong. So, hey, the Lord, hey, don't be afraid as Babylon is slowly crumbling and decaying, as these people are fearing over these types of things or whatever, whatnot, man. The Lord is the one the Lord is the one sending these things out. So the Lord is the one that's also going to deliver you from these same perils, man. All right, so let me go back to verse 3 or 13 or 12. For the sea shall be prosperous, and the vine shall give her fruit, and the ground shall give her increase, and the heaven shall give their due, and I will cause the remnant of this people to possess all these things. So I think you can go back to Genesis 27, dealing with Jacob's blessing, but also I think it's also reiterated maybe Deuteronomy 28 or 32. Okay, here it is. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 23. And thy heaven, these are the curses that befell the children of Israel. These are the curses we're up under. And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is underneath thee shall be iron. And Yahweh shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust, and from heaven it shall come down upon thee, even until thou be destroyed. So basically going into that is like talking about just imagine, we'll go back to the old days. This is like we lived in an agrarian society, basically farming, right? Agriculture, right? So we had an agrarian society back in those days. So like today, you don't work, you don't eat, all right? So if you didn't plant and plow or raise up livestock, you wasn't eating, right? But just imagine if you was planting and sowing or whatever, whatnot, but then there was no rains to come in and water those grounds. Your crop's not going to grow. All right. So these were the curses that was upon us. So we weren't very prosperous in a lot of the things that we were doing, especially when it came time for economics, like work and things like that. We weren't very prosperous. We pretty much as if we had we put money in our pocket or put money into a bag, and the bag had holes in it, But nevertheless, like as we just read, in Zechariah, the Lord said, look, I'm about to start making the heavens over your head, like it's going to rain again, more or less to say, So now, even though you was trying to plant out there in the desert, that's what I caused to happen. I caused this here wetland to dry up like a desert. So now you can't plant, your whole farmland is all dried out, turned into a desert. But now I'm going to bring back the rain. So now you can start prospering again. All right. So the Lord is starting to let the elect in 144,000 start to prosper in this point in time. And it's only going to be an uphill trend from here on out, for the 144,000 in the elect. All right. But for the rest of these people, it's a downhill spiral for them. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying unto the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you. I can push in this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and endure afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong and shalom.